Hello, everybody. I like to welcome you on my podcast show, Renew Motherhood. And it's a new episode, and I'm so happy that my new guest is Michael Hausser. And he is awesome because he completely changed his life. And it's always to inspire you and to encourage you to get into your life. And here is Michael Hausser. Please tell
Oh,
me about you.
okay. Hello, everyone. Michael Hausser, as she stated, and I'm a organic farmer out of Ohio, um, and I grow organic vegetables that on a small market farm, and I do intense. I do it a little different style than most farmers, so it's a unique style, and it's called a market farm, and based out of Ohio, and I've been doing it for about a little over 7 years, almost 7 years.
But you didn't come from Ohio. You came from
Oh, I'm originally from New York, where where
so
I
Big
grew
Apple.
up. Yeah, the Big Apple. Where I grew up, we didn't have much of as far as garden areas because everything's concrete. And I
Yeah.
grew up on a small property of 30 by 100, and I had about a 10 by 20 area worth of dirt that I could actually grow something. So that's
Wow.
where I started, and that was my dad's. My dad taught me about gardening and farming, and that was his dream was always to have a farm of his own. So
Wonderful. So you grabbed the seed from your dad, from his
yeah,
dream, and completed his dream somehow. I guess
yeah,
this is it became
well,
your dream.
I retired in 2014, and then my wife is originally from Ohio, so we always came here and visited. So it's it's less expensive out here for property and taxes and everything else. And the kids loved it out here. We have 5 kids. So we made the move and we bought a small property of 5 acres with a big house. So I can have all 5 kids, and we started growing. It was a horse farm, so it had the barn and everything. Everything was already there, but the property wasn't being used for anything, and it was always
Do you
never
still have
sprayed or.
horses?
We did have horses. We babysat a horse or horse sat for a year, but horses are a lot of maintenance, and they're
Okay,
big.
yeah.
Yeah, they're big, and they can hurt you without them even really knowing it. So,
Okay.
and they're
Yes, I
expensive.
know it's a lot of effort if you have got a horse, isn't it? So I have got a friend who is riding and who had her horse, and she says, I wouldn't do this again. She loves it, but she says it's so much. You have to do it every day. You have to go there, and there is
Oh
not
yeah,
much time to do anything else.
just
But
like
I think
taking care of a
it's
baby.
with the
Yeah.
farming, it's also it must be a passion, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You gotta want to do it. You gotta love it. We do have chickens and ducks and geese, and we uh we grow our own raise our own chickens for meat and then also for eggs. We also raised some pigs. We had goats for a while, but they just got to be expensive pets because they were too cute to raise for meat. So they just became expensive pets. So
Okay. Okay. So let's talk a bit about organic food. So why should we better eat organic than conventional food? What do we gain from this?
well, you first off, like right off the bat, is the nutrition levels are usually higher. Um, but the big thing which I started eating organic was because of health issues, and the chemicals that they use or treat them with they affect your body, and they change things. It's just like with the GMOs, and they feed those to if they feed the GMO grains or stuff like that to animals, it actually changes their DNA makeup, or
Wow.
it's just the way that they fatten them up, or
Mhm.
you know I,
So they
anyway.
become different. So actually the animals
And then you
change
eat,
and you eat them, and then
it changes
it's
your
yeah,
body,
your
and
body will change too.
it
Would you say
affects
this?
all your organs. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And same as the vegetables. I grow and sell organic vegetables. So I just prefer to do it that way. I know some people it's convenience or whatever, but I prefer to know what I'm eating, know that it's not being sprayed or treated with any pesticides or harsh chemicals that are going to affect
Yeah.
my health anymore. So, and I also didn't want my kids growing up and eating that. So,
Mhm.
um,
But
my
would you
wife,
say that your health became better now
absolutely.
eating organic food?
Yes, by eating the organic food, I um, lowered my chances of, getting heart disease
Okay.
and other issues that, like, with my thyroid and diabetes and all that stuff. That's
Mm-hmm.
I had to take a step back, and all the processed foods are harsh on you, and then all the chemically treated vegetables and stuff that they make food with, wheat and corn and stuff like that. That's they're fortified with um, different chemicals to give you they're supposed to give you nutrition, but it's actually stuff that's not good uh, for your body. Like Gary Brecker mentioned in his uh, statements, with the stuff that they spray it on, your body naturally doesn't produce it or need it, so
Mm-hmm.
you're not supposed to take it. So
Yeah, so you look after your body, what really is important for it, what really helps it with
what
those organic food, not to put something else. So you can just
right
stay well stabilized with organic food inside your
right
body.
and
Oh,
it's
great.
just it's healthier. Yeah, it's healthier, you get more nutrition out of it. You're taking no chemicals, and even when you get stuff from overseas, that it's radiated when it comes through customs, so the radiation actually destroys any nutrition. It basically kills all the seeds inside also, so you can never regrow those seeds.
Mm,
But it deteriorates the nutrition that you're paying for to get. So
yeah.
by growing it and not using the chemicals, there's different techniques that you use. So it's more effort, more time for the farmer. It's
Mm-hmm.
more expenses, and then laborious. So that's why I
So would you
usually.
say that really if you don't grow organic food, it would be cheaper to sell if you just grow conventional
Oh,
food, it
conventional
would,
food. Yeah,
yeah.
cheaper because it's mass
Okay.
produced. Yeah, they use big machinery. But you have to constantly spray
Mm-hmm.
to keep the
So you
bugs.
also use another machinery to fertilize the soil.
Absolutely, the size of the equipment they use is huge, and they burn a lot more fossil fuel, and create
Mm,
pollution, and affect the climate, and
yeah.
how the
Okay.
air is.
How do you deal with insects and damaging with things that damage your food then? If you're not allowed to spray chemicals
Right.
on this, so what are
Well,
you doing?
that we grow the way we grow, it's more intensive on a bed of 30 inches, And then we so you can control that area. So you use netting that you just put netting over if it's like something that really gets affected. There's other organic ways, organic methods of sprays that they do have. It's
Hmm.
organic certified sprays, and they're made from all natural materials. So
Okay.
naturally repelling, um, like neem oil or the garlic oil, stuff like that. Just repels it. Cedar water. I make my own cedar water. Just take
Oh,
cedar
wow.
shingles. You get the cedar shingles that they sell at Home Depot. They're not treated with any chemicals, and they're all natural. And you just break them up and you boil them in water and make
Hmm.
like a tea, and then strain out the wood, and then you use that. And I spray it on my fruit trees, and it keeps a lot of the bugs away from laying eggs
Oh,
there.
wow.
And I treat
Well,
it
that's a good tip.
before the winter, so this way it prevents anything from getting on there. Then you use neem oil over the winter, because if any eggs are on there, it'll smother the eggs. And then I'll spray the cedar water in the spring,
Hmm.
and then this way it's keeps the bugs from coming around and laying any eggs in the springtime.
So you also have got a knowledge about using different seasons for different treatments.
Methods, right? Absolutely. Um, Depending on, if it's hot, stuff like that, you can I have houses, so I use inside the high tunnels is they're buildings that are covered in plastic,
Hmm.
and 30 by 100 per house. And I'll buy ladybugs to control aphids. They have the parasitic wasps will also kill any other bugs that go in there. They'll eat the aphids. You can also, if you have worms or anything like that, they have uh, a spray that you can use it's a natural bacteria that
Hmm.
will affect the worms only. So,
Hmm.
and then everything is safe to eat. Like you can spray in the same day, and harvest it later on, and you can eat it.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
we wash everything anyway, and we always
Yeah.
advise just to rinse it off just for any bacteria or anything that could be on there naturally. And then we treat like the area that we clean, we treat it with all natural cleaners. We don't use heavy bleach or heavy chemicals to clean the area. And
Yeah, right.
the heavy weeds like around the area, we always use like vinegar and Epsom salt, and that'll usually clean up the
I
area
use
and
this
kill.
in my kitchen.
Yeah.
Some vinegar,
Well,
but I think it's different yours.
but yeah, the vinegar we use is most household vinegar is 5%. We use like 50 to 60%
Wow,
uh, strength.
that's
So
not cool.
I'll kill the weeds along, and I keep it along the fence line. Most of any weeds that when I turn a bed over, we prevent the weeds from growing with reusable plastic
Hmm.
that we use that'll last for years, and as long as you maintain them. But we'll chop down whatever leftovers, like lettuce are there. We'll put a little bit of compost on it and spray it down with a hose, and then just cover it with plastic.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks, it's all naturally composted in place,
Wow.
and it gives back its own green manure, they call it, and
Yeah.
puts the energy back into the soil because it's a living
Yeah.
soil. You don't want to destroying your soil is
Yes.
number one key that what these like if you keep plowing it and tilling it and just keep doing the same thing and spraying it every year, you strip the soil out of everything, and you kill that soil.
Yes.
So
And then you have to get it up again with another chemical, probably. So if you destroy everything
absolutely.
inside, because
Yep.
nothing can grow if it's destroyed, right?
Right,
Yeah.
except weeds. The weeds are survivors. They
So
They'll
you
grow them
create
almost
your own
anywhere.
cycle with the
Pretty much,
composting and getting back on the earth, on the soil, and yes, that's nice. So nothing is lost, everything is used. You don't
correct.
have to put, well, you have to put a lot of effort inside. So manpower, I think, to get
Right.
this.
But it pays off, it pays for itself. And
Hmm.
it's our duty as as a farmer, that if you're
Hmm.
going to work the soil, it's your duty as a good steward to keep that soil living. And then, like if you to stop and just basically pull up all your stuff, you can, level it out, put fresh seed down for grass to keep it from eroding, but it basically like you were never there. So
Yes. Wow, that's wonderful.
and give it
So
back to nature.
no footprint on the soil.
Correct. Yes.
That's wonderful.
And
Well, would you say that to grow food organically has got an impact on our climate? Would
oh,
you
for
go
sure.
this way?
Oh, just just the with the chemicals they use, synthetics will stay in the soil. And what happens is it also like will break down the soil, and over tilling the soil will erode the soil, and all that runoff goes into our waterways
Mm.
naturally. So it naturally goes in. So it'll affect your rivers and streams, and then eventually like your big lakes or your oceans of where everything rolls into. So
Wow.
that'll affect that, the air quality from spraying, or um, the overuse of uh, other chemicals prevent, like, kills everything. So it prevents even like the natural, uh, like your trees and everything that'll regenerate and create the oxygen and eat up the carbon monoxide and stuff like that, by over utilizing more land than you need. So that's why, like, I try and keep everything small. It's like a permaculture style where, like, I keep other natural elements around the property, so I'm not taking away from the bees, the good, the beneficial insects.
Yeah.
We add berms to have beneficial flowers and other plants that feed those, the beneficials and attract
Yes.
them.
To help, well, the plants that help each other, kind of,
The
right?
plant, right? The bees, the other bugs, and then like you want to keep ladybugs happy, so that they'll, if they eat up all the aphids, then they're going to go away. So if you have other, they maintain a natural level. You want to have other avenues for them to eat
Hmm.
and survive. So you want to keep them in your area.
Well, it's a whole ecosystem, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. And then
One
you can,
catches the other and combines everything. So it
well, the,
can't be big, can it?
you can build it to size. There's a gentleman in Canada, JM Fortier, and he has a big property that is farmed. He farms over 7 acres, I believe,
Oh, wow.
to to show how he can utilize it. But it does take a lot of manpower, so they
Hmm.
do have like a lot of people working there and stuff. So, um, but he like was doing it in scale, so just to show that it is possible,
Hmm.
and that you don't need to resort to all the
Hmm.
tradition traditional old methods of farming, and by
Wow.
growing more than one vegetable at a time.
Yes. Well, it's also that you have to look at how can you, yes, pull down the price a little, isn't it? To work together, or is there a possibility to keep it
As
as
far as,
cheap as possible?
yeah, like I work on it all the time, trying to figure out a less expensive way to do
Mhm.
that and cut down the cost of labor. But I utilize hand tools or hand
Mhm.
uh, smaller tools that you can run by hand. They're not run by motors or anything. And like transplanting apparatuses that you can pull along instead of using a motor to pull it. You pull it because it's smaller and you're
Mhm.
growing in smaller beds. So I can transplant. Um, I can do more seeding, direct
Mhm.
seeding with smaller seeders that I push instead of putting on the back of a tractor.
Mhm.
And then so you cut down those costs. So as far as labor and fuel, maintenance on tractors, or um, to get it down where you can, if you produce more, you get your costs for labor, your cost to produce, and then what you need to make to stay in business. So
Yes.
you need to make a profit or you don't stay in business. So
Yeah, so not only to have a nice picture of entire ecosystem where everything is fine and nice and cozy, but also to keep an eye on your costs and your business so that you, yes, that you can expand, well, that you can grow. Would
oh
you
yeah,
say
and
this?
then there's other ways that they have. It also helps with cutting down costs by people purchasing memberships in the beginning of the
Mm-hmm.
year for a weekly basket or box of vegetables. We sell at the local market, so we don't travel far. We stay local, and we supply all our community. And then with the plan is to supply, take care of our community, and then
Mm-hmm.
also donate portions of what we grow to
So,
local areas and stuff.
okay, so the best place where you can get organic food is actually at the farmer directly?
Right? You can go farmer direct at farmers markets.
Mm-hmm.
You can go stop into your local farmer and see if you want, see if they have a membership that you
Mm-hmm.
can register and join. And then the
So just
benefits of
ask if they have.
right, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Check out your local areas and make sure that it may be off the beaten path and you don't know that they're even there. So it's usually word of mouth. So if you have if you live in a farming community or there's a farming community outside of your city, you can always explore, and farmers love that. They love showing off their work.
Oh,
So
great. Yes, that's wonderful. And I think it's so important, really, for the upcoming generations that we really keep our earth, I won't call it tidy, but clean from all the chemicals.
right.
So
Yeah.
that yes, we can, well, actually we live on this planet, don't we? So we should save our earth somehow.
Yeah. Yeah. Because if you follow the path of like older generations of farmers, that just plowed and stripped the lands. Like in the United States, we had the what's called the Dust Bowl. So that
Hmm.
was back. I don't remember that which era, but I know it was um, back in the early 1900s.
Hmm.
That farmers in the Midwest, they went down. They stripped a lot of the stuff. They didn't have cover crops to cover and keep the soil from being eroded, and then big windstorms would pick up that dust and you
Hmm.
get dust storms, and so they call it the big dust bowl, and it just
Okay.
destroyed, you had soil from certain areas and then ended up somewhere else and destroyed their farms, and farmers went out of business.
Yeah, that's pity. So
Yeah,
if you're depending on it, so of
but
course
it's
you want to save it.
but it's all
Yeah.
education. Education is the key to teach young children now about what happened. It's always, you learn about your history so you don't repeat it,
Hmm.
and or you can also improve it. So
Hmm.
new
Would you
technology,
say this is taught in school? Is this taught in school in the
not
States, in
everywhere.
in Ohio?
Certain schools teach it. They have certain programs, but not all. It's only if you get involved in agriculture and go to an agricultural program that you'll get
Mhm.
teaching about it. But most schools only teach a little, if any, and it's definitely not know where your food comes from, because if half the people knew where their food came from, they wouldn't eat it. So
Yes, it's important to know where your food comes from, I think. This is really, I know this is in Germany, it's also a topic that children forget where raspberries grow. So
yeah,
that's weird, but yeah, we should keep this knowledge and to educate our children where the food comes from and the vegetables and how it grows and where they can get it and everything. I think this is so crucial for our families, for our lives, for the next generations. And I'm so grateful that you are doing this job because I am the best customer of you
oh,
for those
okay.
organic food.
Everybody, I know a lot of people like enjoy it, and they when I tell them what I do, it like you can see it brightens up their eyes, like there is actually hope for what they want. So
Yes.
you can't really get it everywhere, and even when you do go to the store, a lot of the stuff they sell
Mhm.
as organic is questionable about the
Yeah.
quality and nutrients. Like I said, it could be followed by certain, it could be following certain organic rules, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of regulations that they need to work on.
Mhm.
You don't always
So
know
it's
what.
still a lot to do, also from the government side, would you say this?
Oh yeah, I mean they do have really good programs,
Hmm.
and I know the USDA is fascinating with the just the amount of knowledge they have, and I know people who work there like are really passionate about it. So,
Yeah, that's great.
and it's just it's like everything else, funding. It takes funding to get things done.
Yeah.
They have they have a lot of grants that actually help local farmers, and they do support some of the educational faculty that do teach it.
Mhm.
So as far as like knowledge of what the exact numbers or anything, I don't really have that knowledge, but I know it's
Yeah. So that's wonderful. And I'm so happy that I got you on my podcast to talk
yeah.
about organic food. Actually, this podcast is named, it's called Family, Food and Family. And
Oh,
I think this just combines everything because for our family, we need to stay healthy. We need to have a look at what we are eating and
absolutely.
drinking and to really to spread the health and to have a good life, actually.
Yep. And it all starts at home.
It
It
all
all
starts at
starts at
home. Yes, right.
so if the
So,
if the family.
yes, do you have got any plans for the future that you would like to, how you would like your business to grow or your kids to involve or to expand or to, have you got a vision?
I have visions, but kids, even with the kids that I have, that they some of them want to do other professions or go a
Hmm.
different career, and which is understandable. But I have my goal would be to have the kids take over running
Hmm.
it, and then scale it up to keep the community supplied.
Yes.
We have it's a small community, but there's a lot of people here, so it's that I can feed them for as long as I can.
Yes, thank you. This sounds awesome.
Uh,
I love this.
Terrific.
Thank you so much for being with me here on my podcast. And I really appreciate you talking about organic food. And because it's a little passion from me. So, and I'm so glad to have a farmer here and who's telling a little about this background. Yes. I like to thank you, and I like to thank all the listeners here on this podcast. And I hope you follow my podcast and will follow the following episodes too. Thank you, Mike Hausser, for being with me.
Okay,
And I
thank
wish
you.
you an awesome day.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye.